Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, July 10th, 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy. Hope your families are safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your families in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health, along with first responders doing all they can to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean. And those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are helping the people that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create demands that cause these evil industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Finally, it's the time of year that most of us Knicks fans enjoy, the Summer League. And Summer League starts today for the New York Knicks. They start to play today in Las Vegas. And myself, I'm looking, I know a lot of people are going to be mentioning Dylan Jones. I don't care about Dylan Jones. I don't think he's really going to be material for us long term, even though Coach praised him and said he helped. But Dadiet is a guy the Knicks drafted. It's kind of a make or break time for him because there's pressure because of his salary and the constraints of financial constraints of the Knicks not going over the second apron. They could use his salary in a trade. So he's got to show something this summer league, as well as the other three that I'm looking at, Kayil, Nickel, and Diawara, of course. So there's a big man on the roster. Some people have been happy about. This is the problem that I'm noticing when a lot of people are looking at big men. They just look at measurements, wingspan and height. That is not how you find an NBA big man. The key things that a big man in the NBA must have to be successful. He must have foot speed. Length, you need to have length, but the foot speed, that means the ability to cover ground quickly, is very important. The ability to hold your position on a rebound, very important. The foot speed becomes important because you can cover ground. Just think of Mitchell Robinson. He can get out to the corner on a shooter and he can get back. He can show double and he can get back to his man. That's important. A lot of guys that are big in the league do not make it because they are slow of foot. I like to use Jahlil Okafor as a prime example here. He was excellent in college, a back-to-the-basket player, low post moves, all the classic low post moves you could want. But two things, he couldn't shoot the three, which is not a deal breaker, but he couldn't. And his feet are slow. And this is the problem with guys like Moses Brown and others. You need to have some quickness of foot. You need to have either quickness or foot speed to cover ground quickly. That drill that they do during the NBA Combine where they're doing the square, that's important because that shows if a big man does it well, he could cover ground quickly. That's what you need. And again, most of the big men in the NBA either A, do not cover the ground, or B, they can, but they're too weak to hold their position, which is why you get a skinny guy, and that might be a problem. The elite example of covering ground is Wemby. When you see Wemby, guys can actually get by him, but he uses this foot speed and his length to still block a shot, even though he got beat. So that's that's really like, those guys don't grow on trees. See, that's why they're so important. Mitchell Robinson being, of course, another guy, which we just lost to Boston, but that's the example. So when you look at a big guy, just because he's 7'1", doesn't mean he's going to be able to play in the NBA. It means he's tall, obviously, but it doesn't mean he could play in the NBA. How quick are his feet? Okay, and along with the quick feet, along with which is really reaction time also, you need to be able to read what's going on in front of you very quickly to call out to the rest of the defense what is happening. When DeAndre Jordan had a short stint with the Knicks, he was tremendous in helping Mitchell Robinson in that aspect of his game in terms of calling out the defense, being more vocal on defense. That was a game changer for Mitchell Robinson. So with any big man in the league. Now, most big men are short somewhere, no pun intended. Like, for example, Jonas Valanciunas, who's going to clear waivers at 5 o'clock today. He does not have foot speed, none, okay? But he really does have good reaction times in terms of understanding what the offense is trying to do. And what he makes up for in terms of the lack of foot speed, he can hold his position against anybody. That's why he's one of the premier offensive rebounders in the NBA. Nobody's going to move him from his position, even two guys. You can see how big and strong he is. So he's good at getting to his position and holding it, okay? A lot of guys, like let's take Moses Brown. He might get to his position, but he can't hold it. He might be able to see what the offense is doing, but he reacts too slow, okay? That's why we don't want him. So a lot of guys, everybody out here just looking at size and wingspan and think, oh man, this is the guy. No, it doesn't work like that. So the guy that the Knicks had, his name is Liam Robbins. He's in his second year at Vanderbilt. Now, usually it does take a couple of seasons. It's a very difficult position to learn, the 5 in the NBA. So it takes a couple of seasons for a guy that even has the talent to realize all that. For example, a lot of y'all were calling for Mo Bamba. The problem with Mo Bamba, he's got the foot speed. Well, mostly. But he cannot hold his position. And he doesn't react quickly enough to see what's going on. See, in the NBA, the speed of the game is such that you got to have a reaction time. You got to see what's going on quickly, call it out, and then be in the right position. Now, easier said than done. That's why these guys get paid so much money. That's why Mitchell Robinson, even part-time, is variable because they're elite at doing this, okay? So Mo Bamba couldn't. Little lack of foot speed in terms of covering ground. Got great length, but does not react quickly enough on defense to use that length and that height that he has. So if you're just looking at measurements or you're looking at college, it's hard to tell. You got to understand what a pro team is looking for. We talked last year about James Najee. James Najee got all the measurements. He's got the foot speed too. He could actually go on the perimeter and guard people, but he does not hold his ground on the offensive rebound. He's not strong enough to get it clear out of space for himself and hold it. It's like in the league likes players of any position that can finish through contact. That's important. Jalen Brunson is one of the elite players, finishing through contact. Jaylen Brown, finishing through contact. So, for a big man, it's not necessarily just finishing through contact. It's be able to get your position for offensive, defensive rebounds through a lot of contact that's going on underneath the basket. So that was James Najee's problem. He could not get his position even in summer league, and he could not hold it. That's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. So they're not going to invest millions of dollars in you if you cannot do those things. Andre Drummond, he was once one of the elite ones in the league at it. Okay, and as referenced by the fact that multiple times he was in the top 5, top 10 for voting for Defensive Player of the Year. Got the foot speed, strong, obviously, could hold his position. And that's why it's good that the Knicks have him, and the Knicks are going to use him, like I said, definitely less than 20 minutes, probably less than 15 minutes a game. If the Knicks can get a Jonas, that would add to that, because now you're just splitting time between the second and third guy, and either of them could start in a pinch. And, while they're not Mitchell Robinson, they will do enough of an adequate job filling in for Cat. Cat is our guy. So they're filling in for Cat. Okay? So today, Jonas is coming off waivers at 5 o'clock today. So at some point, I'm expecting this weekend, Jonas to make a decision. It's not really up to the Knicks or any other team. Jonas has got options. He's Lithuanian. He can go back. He's already been offered a contract in Lithuania. He can go home and spend his last playing days there. He can come to New York. What would be the draw of him coming to the Knicks? They just won a championship. They're bringing everybody back. And the guy that left, he is going to be one of the replacements. Okay? Now, he was expected to back up the Joker in Denver last year. He did an adequate job. I wouldn't say he was terrible, as some people assert. He was just, okay, but he wouldn't be expected to do that in New York. He'd be sharing that role with Andre Drummond. Okay, so it's not like he'd have to take on the role of backup on his own. Okay, so that's a different scenario. And then as he came to Denver, a championship team, right, a past champion, he's coming to New York, a championship team. So what's important to Jonas? Does he want to win an NBA championship? Then it's obvious he comes to New York. If he just wants to collect his money and be home, he's going to Lithuania. Okay, that's what we'll find out this weekend. Now, the Don has multiple people on his list. He just doesn't disclose who they are. Everybody's trying to guess and throw names out, which is ridiculous. Your suggestions don't mean anything. So he's gonna have a guy, and he's gonna know who. If Jonas is not there, he got X, he got B, he got C, he got D. So he'll do that. One thing he's not going to do, he's not going to take a rookie, a second-round pick like this guy Leon Robbins, and he'll become that's not going to happen. It's going to be somebody that's played in the NBA, somebody that has like Dadiet, a couple of seasons in the NBA, or a veteran like Jonas V. And the talent is going to be somewhere between those two ranges. Some young, energetic buck, or dude that's like the pogo stick, Dadiet, or older veteran that's wily and knows how to play the game, Jonas Valanciunas. So we don't know, but we'll find out. Either way, the Knicks going to be okay because we know JC, West 4th Street, back in the fold. We weren't expecting anything less. We knew he was coming back. So he signed, got his veteran men, and he's back. So basically, the Knicks have 13 players under contract. 12 of them played for the Knicks last year. When you're coming off a chip, that's major. That's big time. And then they're going to pick a 14th guy, probably a guy that could back up another 5 or 4 and a 5. So we'll see. In the summer league, Kayil, Diawara, and Dadiet are going to be really trying to show what they could do, how much they've gotten better. With respect to Dadiet, it looked like he grew about an inch, 6'8", 223. It looked like he gained a little weight. That's good. That means he's working in the weight room. And so we'll see about what he's done. We know about Mohamed Diawara. He's 21 years old. Really has a feel for the game, which is very important. That means he could become plug and play at some point. He can guard all 5 positions at 21 years old. And he has the foot speed. He has the reaction time. He has everything you want in a guy that can play the wing in the league. And so he's able to play the 3, the 4, the 2, if you want him to. And he showed a jump shot last year. So that's also big for a rookie. So I want to see where he's at. I know for sure he's working really hard on his game. So let's see what's up. And then we're going to see the Kayil and the nickel. Now, I think the Knicks have already said they're going to send Kayil back to Germany. So he's going to be a draft and stash. Nickel will probably be, at the very least, in the G League. Okay, he might get the rookie contract with the Knicks and be on the roster. That depends on what the Knicks do with that 14th spot. They may just put Nickel in the 2-way because he would not count against the 14 roster spots, and he'll get a lot of run in the G League. We're not worried about rushing these guys. A lot of people are. I heard people say Diawara's got to gain weight, blah, 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 as if they need to rush to get these things done. There's a process. Let the process play out. And a lot of guys are talking already about waiting till the trade deadline to get the 14th guy. That's stupid. If you could get him now, you get him. And you want to bring him into camp. There's only but so many times you're going to catch a Josh Hart at the deadline. Or you're going to catch a Jose Alvarado at the deadline. Don't depend that that's going to be available all the time. It's not. And then you're talking about a 5. By now, if you got to wait for a 5 at the deadline, you're going to get a lemon. That's what you're going to get. Okay? Guys that are available like that, hey, you want somebody you can develop or that can work in your system from training camp. 5 is a very important spot. Okay, so you don't want to wait to the deadline. You could wait to the deadline to get a hustle like a Josh Hart, a point guard like a Alvarado, somebody that can handle the ball no matter what team he's on, right? A shooter, right? So, but a big guy that can run the floor, that has good feet, that can understand defenses, teams ain't letting that go. They just ain't letting that go. That's the Knicks caused the whole NBA to rethink the five. So everybody's focusing on the five. Whereas it was interesting when I'm old enough to remember Wilt Chamberlain. I watched him play. And at the time of Wilt Chamberlain, everybody was trying to get a 7-footer that can play like Wilt Chamberlain. Well, you're not going to get that. I mean, that kind of guy doesn't come around but every couple of generations. So then came Jabbar, and everybody wanted to be like Jabbar. And so then you started seeing other guys that were 7 feet tall, like Artis Gilmore, Nate Thurman. You start seeing other guys that the teams were trying to copy Chamberlain and Jabbar. Okay, it's a different era now, whereas teams understand you're not going to get Karl Anthony Towns. You're just not. But can you get somebody to guard Karl Anthony Towns, or at least have a chance at it? Can you get somebody that can catch the ball and you can run as a hub and pass out of the post that may not be able to put it on the floor like Cat? That's what people are now looking for. So we'll see how that works out. I'm very confident that the Don has a list of guys for number 14, and he'll let us know when he let us know. As far as Jonas V, though, we should find out between today and Monday what he's going to decide. Okay, I'm sure he's not waiting till now to decide. He probably already seeing what's out there. He's sitting with his people, and they're gonna make a decision of what he wants to do. Like I said, if he's interested in trying to win a chip, he's coming to New York. If he's interested in settling in Lithuania, his home country, with his people over there and getting the nice money over there in euros or whatever they dealing, then he's gonna be over there. Okay, but we'll see by the end of the weekend. And then again, today, 6 o'clock, you're going to see some Dadiet, some Kayil, some Nickel, and some Diawara. That's going to be good. So I'm excited about the Summer League. I always am. And for the reason that we mentioned, we got young dudes coming out. That's the future that we're trying to develop to see what they got. So we'll see. And like you, I'll be analyzing the guys and seeing what we might have. Like last summer, Diawara was my big thing. I was like, man, I think this kid's going to be all right. And he was. He ends up being real good. This year, let's see. We're going to take a look and see. But when you're looking at fives, remember what I said. Make sure they're not slow of foot, that they have quick reaction times, and really that they really know how to cover ground. Okay? That's important in today's NBA for the 5 spot. Everybody that's 7'1" with a 7-foot wingspan doesn't mean he can play in the NBA. Okay, might be able to play overseas, but not in the NBA. The league requires more. Y'all enjoy the Friday. Enjoy the Summer League. We'll talk soon. Sure.